Hey, thank you so much for your recent purchase of the pricing guide template. I am going to walk you through how to edit that template in Canva. If you did not watch the first video of how to get started in Canva, please make sure that you go and do that. It is going to step you through how to access the template and then of course make a copy and add it to your design so that way you're not modifying the original version. So make sure that you've watched that and you know exactly what to do there. Once you do that, you'll open up the pricing guide template design as I've done here. You're going to make a copy of it from that original video. And just as a reminder, if you're already in this one, it's by clicking File up at the top left-hand corner and then clicking Make a Copy and then getting started in the template design. So now that you have a copy version, I'm going to close out the original so that way I don't make any edits or updates to that original document. You can go ahead and change the name of the pricing guide template here. So like I'm going to add in Simply Cyan pricing guide template, and then something that you might want to do over time as you continue to make changes and update it is add the year. That might be really helpful. So as you can see here, there's already an image and some placement for your information. There are a couple different ways that I've done this based on the ability that Canva allows. So for this one specifically, I've actually added in I've added in an image. That's a tongue twister. And I have flipped it because it gives me a little bit more customization by actually adding in an image here versus a background. Now, depending on what you want to do and what you're using, I wanted to scale this image, which right now you can't even see the corners at the edges because I scaled it much larger than the canvas. So I can go and drag that and move it down and move it around and simply do that. So going back to the title page or the cover page, you can see that I can edit it by grabbing onto these little corners and anchors and adjusting the size. So I wanted to scale it up pretty significantly, which is why you couldn't even see it before when we first started. All you have to do here is delete that image, go to either Uploads, where you can upload your own imagery, or go to Backgrounds and use some of the free imagery that Canva already has, like this one or this one, and select that. Now, when you're doing it from a background standpoint, you're not able to scale that image the way that I just showed you with my previous image. So there are some limitations with being able to put a background image in place, as I have done here, or by uploading your own. Canva even has pictures that you can choose from here. So like free photos, if you click on all, you have access to all these photos that they have, and you can add that in there, but that is going to be on top of, it's not going to be a background image. So then you have the ability to scale it like I did in that first one. And of course, if you're adding in a new image like I just did, it is sitting on top of everything else. So one of the ways to adjust that is by going up to the right-hand corner here where it says position and moving it to the back. Once you do that, you're able to push it towards the back and have all the other elements come to the front. Now, specifically for this image, it's kind of dark. And I'm not able to click on it again. So I'm actually going to click Control Z or up here at the top. So now I can grab that image again, and maybe I want to drop the opacity. Now, of course, because the background is that beach ocean, that is showing through, but it's a little dark, so I'm going to move it to 50% transparency. I'm going to position it to the back again, and then to get rid of that background, all you have to do is, instead of selecting one of these free background images, is select on solid color and then select white. And it wasn't supposed to take the image away. So let's go back to elements there, drop in that image that we were working with. That may be a slightly different one. It is. So we're going to go back to the one that we were using before. And we're going to scale it and modify it. I'm going to drop this down to 50%, as we've done here, and then I'm going to bring it to the back. Now, one of the issues is once I click off of that, it's going to be hard for me to select that image because it is positioned in the back. That's just one of the things that is a little more challenging with Canva than when you're working with Photoshop, but this is a great free tool for you to be able to use. There's, of course, just some things that aren't quite the same when you're working with a free tool versus something like Photoshop, which I'm used to designing in. So there it is, and then you would go and switch out your logo. Now this is just a placeholder image, so you would go to your uploads and you would upload an image and you would go and find your logo and drop that in there. So if we were to do that for mine, we would come in here, go to logo, and go to this, select it. It is uploading, and as soon as it's done uploading, I can click on it and it will drop it into the image. So you can see that I'm scaling it roughly about the same size as this logo. And I'm just going to delete this one by hitting the delete button and then position this in a place that's easier to see. Now, of course, that image is really hard to see. So I'm going to design it the way that I would for my pricing guide template. One of the reasons why I also liked this, as I mentioned earlier, is I scaled it pretty significantly to get it to the point that I wanted it. But in an image, whereas you can't do this in a background, I'm able to flip the image. So I want to flip it horizontal so that way it's sitting on that side. That's something that I really like about doing it this way versus through just the background. And then I'm going to push it to the back here. And now there we have my pricing guide investment. And then of course I have kind of helpers and guides of text throughout. So enter your services. For me, mine looks like marketing, branding, whoops, I can spell, branding and website design. Investment guide. So that's what I want people to see when they're looking at it. And then of course I can select on this color block and change the color. And I'm going to do that by clicking on this little icon up here at the top where it says color. And I can add in my own brand colors. I have the free version, which you might as well. So I have to go and add this in every time. But if you have the paid version, you can select your brand colors and it will automatically put them up here for you. So I was able to create 3 brand colors with the free version. I think there's a limitation on how many you can have. In the paid version, you can have a lot more. I can't upload my logo into the design with the free version, but in the paid version, I know you can. So there are just a couple little things that make it a little bit quicker and easier for you to navigate, but for the most part, you can still do a lot of the same things in the free version. So if you have the free version, this might be the way that you do it. I think that's that's my brand color. So that is what I would want my cover page to look like. And then as you get down, you'll notice that there's all these other areas. You'll do the same thing here. You'll change that color block. These are grouped together. So if I double click, I'll select just the color block behind it and I can go ahead and change it. And it does save like some of the last colors that you used. And then anywhere that you see this type of image where it has like that clip art look to it, I'm able to just go and pull an image that I've uploaded and then drag it into that spot over that clip art image, and it will place it in there for me without any resizing or moving around that needs to happen. So that's really nice because it's keeping the design true to how we've designed it, so that way all you have to do is just drop in your photos and change some of the text and then be on your way. So it makes it really easy for you to kind of do this quickly and get this up and running in no time. So then of course here, if you want to change your font, you can go ahead and do that here. You'll have to change it for each text box. I did use a very generic font that I think looks really good no matter your branding. So it's pretty standard. You could go ahead and keep it or you can change it. I just wanted to show you how you can go ahead and do that. So here, you may want to add a little something extra. So I added in dancing script. With the free version, you can only use what they have available. If you want to upload like a brand specific font, you'll need the paid version. So it's just something to keep in mind. And then yeah, so you would go ahead and change all of that, add in your text. If you wanted to make this like all caps, and as you notice, I was typing in up here and I didn't hit shift and I wasn't hitting shift as I was typing or hitting all caps as I was typing. It's actually part of the design. So I could go and select this and it would make it lowercase, or if I click it again, it makes it uppercase. So just something else to keep in mind as you're designing. For the bold statement page, this is where you would add in a mission statement or an impactful quote that will resonate with your audience. I used a background image here because I didn't feel as compelled to like have it be perfectly positioned the way that I had the title page perfectly positioned. So this, I'm just using one of their free background images. If you have your own that you want to upload, you would do that through the same way we did the cover page. You would have to scale it, cover up the entire canvas, and then move it to the back. So very easy option there of either utilizing one of their free images or uploading your own and just scaling it and moving it to the back. Something to note here is these are two different boxes that I did group together. So if you want to change the color of the box, we can do that like that, but you'll have to double click on the outer one, and as you can see, I selected it because the color up here has changed to that gray color, and now I've clicked the color that I want to change it to. So you'll have to do it twice just because I wasn't able to completely group them as one shape, but it's pretty simple to make that change. So then you would add your mission statement or an impactful quote here that would resonate with your audience, and then continue making those same type of changes to the color blocks. You know, change the color to whatever you want it to be, change the information to align with what you're offering and what the steps are to work with you. I really like this because it kind of guides them through, hey, step 1 is a video chat. Step 2 is to make it official. Step 3 is to fill out your client questionnaire. Step 4 is to dig into the details and start bringing it to life. Step 5 is to, I don't remember what step 5 is, to go through revisions, and then step 6 is to launch. So that is obviously a very cleaned up version of what I offer to my clients when I'm working with them. That can take some pretty significant time to finish all 6 of those steps, but it helps guide them through the journey and through the process of what it's like to work with me. So that is something that you can incorporate into your pricing guide template and your investment guide, or if it's not applicable, you can go ahead and just delete it. This is the package title page. So this is just like a nice little separation page to say, hey, these are the packages that I'm about to share with you. If you're a photographer, this would be really good for, you know, standard packages, premium packages, and so on. In my instance, I use this to say branding packages, and then I go through and I share the 3 different types of branding packages that I have with them. And then I repeat this again to say website design packages, and then 3 different website design packages that I offer, and so on. So you can keep repeating this as much as you need to by just clicking on this little icon here and duplicating it. And if, you know, it's typically not going to be in alignment with how you want it from a page flow standpoint. So you just click this little arrow and it will move it down. So now I have my branding packages page here, and then this can be my website design package page, followed by package layout. So there are 2 different layouts that are included in this template. We have the 3 package layout, as you can see with page 6. And then page 8 is showing a 1 package layout. So depending on the services that you offer, either one might be a better fit. I wanted to give you some options there. And of course, same thing. This is just like editing what we edited before. You'd go and click on both of these shapes and change the colors. This is just a background image. Excuse me. This is just a background image, so I went and selected one of their free ones. If you want to use your own customized imagery, you would go and upload that and then drop it in and then move it to the back through the position at the top. So this is all placeholder text for you to talk about your package. And then we have a testimonial page. Similar style, same setup here. We drop the opacity on these 2, so that way it's a little bit softer. You could always adjust that by clicking on the little icon up here and adjusting it. Right now it's showing it as 100%, which I know is not true. Maybe the outside one is set at 100%. Yes, there is a difference there. So if you'd like them both to be transparent, you would go ahead and do it that way, whereas I have the inner box transparent at 50% and the outer box set at 100. So you can modify and adjust that as you'd like. And then you would go and edit and add in the testimonial or quote from your past client. One of the things that I also did here, is I followed that same opacity, and we want to drop it down to 50. So that way it matches. So that way it looks like it's transparent, that circle actually has a cutout. That's why it's done that way. So whatever color you're changing this color block to, you want to also change the quotes if you like that style and that design. And then of course you want to insert your client's name and change out the background image to whatever is applicable for you and your brand. And then finally we have this call to action book now page, and this is a way for people to know exactly how to contact you and what to do. A couple things to note here. You want to add a call to action about working together as your headline here. And then you want to, if you want to change your call to action button to say something else like book now versus let's work together, you can do that here. These two items are grouped, so that way when you click on it, you can just go up to the right hand corner where it says link and add in whatever link is appropriate for getting someone to book you. So in my pricing guide template, I like to link this to Dubsado directly, where I have a form for them to fill out and let me know what package they actually want to move forward with. So that way it's kind of automated and streamlined, and I really love that. Dubsado is a CRM, a client relationship management tool, similar to Honeybook. And those types of programs allow you to kind of streamline your workflow process a little bit more. So I really recommend that if you have that set up, or if you don't, that you go and look into it. It's a great tool. I love it. And then you would add that link in here, click apply, and it would add it to both. So that way when they're looking at the PDF, they can go ahead and click on that and then book or schedule your services. And then down at the very bottom, I always like to give them the option to reach out to me via email. Now at this point, because of the way that I structure my my workflow, I've already met with them, they've already emailed me, but I like to have it here as a reminder that, hey, if you have a question, email me, let's chat. If they do it this way, it's going to be a little bit more automated, which obviously is helpful because it's streamlined, but I never want my clients to feel like they can't reach out to me at any point in time. So I just kind of reinforce that here down at the bottom with my email. And depending on your workflow and how it works for you, if you're putting this on your website, this may be the first time that they're interacting and wanting to reach out. So depending on how you work that, this is always a nice call to action, a nice reminder. So that's how you edit the pricing guide template in Canva. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. Just reach out to hello@simplycyan.com and I'll be happy to help.